Hello boys and girls, in this video I want to share my thoughts with you on the Skyrim demo on E3. Many of you have linked this video to me. Thank you for that, I happily watched it. And I have discussed some things about it with the Random Bucket before, the guy from Untamed Lands Minecraft series, and in the meantime I changed my view on a couple of things, and generally I want to share my thoughts on Skyrim with you. So this is of course what we all expected and are used to by now from Bethesda or the Elder Scrolls games, just a nice scenery. Nothing better has been ever done in any game. This is just great. However, I don't like what I see here on the stone, namely polygonal edges. It's just too little detail. I expected somehow the game engine would make use of tessellation, and instead of having planar, so that means smooth textures here on the stone, it would use these displacement maps so that the graphic card displaces parts of the texture, and by that it will make this rock look very rough and edgy and not with smooth edges like here. I wonder why the games today, they have DirectX 11, they have the computing power in the graphics cards. They don't make use of it. It's just a beautiful technology. But okay, if you don't mind this little detail, it looks great. It looks just great, except for the stones, of course, with the smooth edges, but whatever. I also noticed here in the background this mountain. It looks much more like a mountain and rock. Its shape is much more varied and edgy than we had mountains in Oblivion with just, you know, smooth surfaces, and basically you could glide on them. Here you can glide too, but it's because it has snow on it and no just the amount of detail on the armor of this lad is just great. I like also the way he gradually transfers from the gradual transition from walking speed to running speed. I was happy to see a fox hunting a bird here. That is something I've been missing a lot in Oblivion, because there, except for deers, was no wildlife. Any creature spawned just randomly moved and around the spawn point and waited for you to come to attack you. This looks much more realistic. A fox does care more for a bird which it can kill rather than to attack a hero. It would rather run away from a hero because it knows it's in danger. It's a much more powerful enemy, and hero is not the kind of prey fox would hunt for. Just like the boar, you know, boars in Oblivion, boars can attack you, can chase you, but only to chase you away, because if they feel annoyed by you, if they surpass the safety border for them, and they want to keep your distance. But if you don't leave them and push your luck, then they chase you and attack you, but they don't really attack you to kill you, but just to chase you away. Spellcasting looks great. These hands and effects. This is something I like. The spells coming out of hands, double wielding, we saw that. More powerful spell if you use both your hands. Just makes sense. I wonder why no game wants to adopt the kind of spellcasting Andrzej Sapkowski has described in his Witcher books. I don't know whether the Witcher games actually have that, but he describes it as forming sign, a magical sign with your fingers on your hand. You make a gesture with a magical meaning, and that way the spell gets cast. You form your fingers to a magical sign and push your hand or aim your hand or propel the spell power against an enemy, or just a sequence of signs, like kind of like a sign language where you just cast the syllables of a spell by shapes of your hand. No game uses this, but I mean this is nothing the Skyrim universe needs to copy. They have their own spell effects. I was glad to see here the very smooth and round shapes of these guardian stones. If you remember, on one place in my Oblivion Let's Play, I've complained about round contours appearing polygonal, like polygons, not rather than smooth, round contours. There's nothing, not a hint of a polygon here in this round hole in the stone, or in the, move up your head, in the parabolic shape of this. Maybe here I have to see for myself really close in the game, but it's okay if it's like this, so that you see it nice and round. I'm perfectly happy with it. I still think it's polygons here, but if it's polygons, they have much more edges, and they look pretty and round, just as supposed to. Now, fight, melee fight is something I don't like here for various reasons. First, I noticed a little glitch. This wolf is here scripted with his running loop, and the transition from his running loop to his attacking jump is not at all smooth, as we saw the smooth transition from on your character. They didn't make it that carefully. What you see here is just a glitch. You see it before the wolf jumps. It's these frames. He's jumping there like a doll. You know, this shouldn't happen here. This in between jump or glitch should be much more smoother. I also wonder why the wolves have such great teeth here. I mean, they have sharp teeth, but I wonder whether a wolf has really teeth like this that long. I don't think so, but or at least it's another shape. I have never actually seen the teeth of a wolf, but I suppose it's very much like a dog, and dogs don't have these needle-like teeth. Okay, but these are okay. I could live with that. What I don't like even more is the kind how blood splatters are done here. You hit the wolf here over his front legs, and the blood splatter comes out from the air. You know, the place where the cut is on the body just stays in the 3D space between you and the wolf. The wolf's body moves away from it. Your view moves away from it, and well, yes, the blood comes out from the air. Just should be attached more to the wolf's body. Also, normally blood, I think if you cut somebody like this, the blood would come out slightly delayed. It's not immediate, like blood under pressure exploding there. Nah. Okay, it's a little less realistic than I hoped, but at least we have a bit of blood. Somewhat ridiculous I find these unsharp blood stains in your view. I know this is the trend, how to indicate damage of your character, especially in the first-person shooters, in the military ones. But there it somehow makes sense. When you get involved in a bloody fight and the blood is in the air, you have a helmet with a screen and the blood lands on it, so your view gets obscured by these blood stains on the screen of your helmet. What kind of screen do you have here? No. And even if the blood drops gets in your eyes, your instinct tells you to close the eye. You wouldn't see nothing. And even if you keep your eyes open and you have blood in your eyes, it mixes with your tears, and I don't know if it's even noticeable. I never tried to drop blood in my eyes, but I guess if anything, then your view would be slightly reddish, but you definitely would not see any kind of blood stains like this. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the Elder Scrolls it wasn't necessary for the Elder Scrolls to copy this kind of blood splatters in your view. What I do like, let me come back to the combat. There's more things I don't like about the combat. It's the physics. Where is the physics? I mean, look at this wolf running towards you. It weighs some 200 kilograms, running with some 30 kilometers per hour. Your warrior weighs about 100 kilograms with his muscles and equipment. Maybe even more. And now the impact. Mass body like the wolf, if it collides with you, the impulse it had gets carried over to you, and you are supposed to be pushed, pulled back, or roll over and something and lose your balance. Nothing ever happens to you. The wolf just lands on you, and it's like jumping against a wall. You just stand fast. You don't move at all. Nothing happened to you. Such a great mass, great speed, and does nothing to you. This is not realistic. On the other hand, later here with this wolf, when you actually block and your warrior is prepared for an impact, the muscles in his body are tense. His weight is fronted so that he can face the collision. Here, suddenly, you get a scripted knockback. The wolf had the same speed and range and probably mass, or almost same like the wolf before. As soon as you block and are actually prepared to face a force or an impulse, you get knocked back and out of balance just because you have blocked, you have held your shield against. It's just like Oblivion, you know. Creatures attack you as soon as you do nothing, you don't get out of balance, but as soon as you block, oh good boy, then you have this scripted knockback. It's so ridiculous. Please make a simple physics model. If two mass bodies collide, there is interaction, there is something going on. Model it, make it computed on the fly during these fights. Why not? I mean, this is too simple. We deserve better. On the other hand, this menu here is nice. I like that you can maybe zoom and rotate the items in your view. This is nice. I've seen this the very first time in a game called Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark was a horror game. A great atmosphere for its time, and graphics, okay, was good enough. But it was just amazing at the time that you had an inventory like that, where you saw the item rotating in 3D. Great idea. We have it here again. Just that here we can rotate the item as we want in all three axes, probably. I don't like much the carrot here. Where was it? Show me the carrot. Yes. I don't think this looks realistic. The transition between the carrot root and the leaves, it looks different, doesn't it, from in a carrot? This is certainly a failure of design. On the other hand, the nice fine roots here on this nirnroot are good work. Okay, what else is here? Perks for the skills. This zoomed out map is really neat. I just hope they will give a search field for us PC users, that you will just type the name like Riverwood. It will zoom out and zoom in the map where Riverwood is, and let you go there, that you won't have to slide your mouse and scroll the view all over the vast Skyrim lands to find a place you want to go to. Or at least you will have one more map, just an overview of all of the Skyrim, where you won't have to scroll at all and just point and click, go there. But it's just a nice idea to have it, to make it look like it zooms out from your current location, and you have a bird's eye view, or plain eye view rather than bird on this. Again, here the design is just great. Nice architecture, nice 3D design. What I don't like about this talking scene is that it looks unnatural. Of course, the purpose of showing it is to show, look, the time hasn't stopped, the water flows further, the wheel of the mill is rotating, things around are moving. That's the purpose. But what looks unnatural to me is this blacksmith talking to you, watching you, paying attention to you, obviously, yet he hasn't ceased his work. There is nothing generally wrong with working while talking, if it's an easy kind of work where you can talk. But normally what would look normal to me is that a person just decides what to focus on. It has work to do, and focuses on the work, and it sees you okay. It doesn't pay you much attention, just a brief eye contact, and focus further on the work, and talk while doing it, and focus on sharpening the axe. Only occasional look back to you and just to keep you informed you are still somehow interacting with him, or he is with you, but not completely like this. He's staring at you all the time and blindly sharpening his axe, or the axe. This is nothing you can do with an axe. If you sharpen an axe, it's a hard work, and you have to pay attention, really pay attention, not to damage it, because you just have taken away too much of the material away. It's really nothing easy, and requires some attention. So either he focuses on the work, or he focuses at you, but then he should put the axe aside. Or, I mean, the time doesn't need to stop. He can move in his workshop, but just put the axe on the table, I don't know, rest his foot from this sharpening machine, whatever. Yeah? But he has one scripted movement of his hands, axe, sharpening, okay, and just head. There's nothing else going on, just raising his head and watching you while doing all the same movements like before. It's somewhat unnatural, and also the thing that he looks like paying attention to you while sharpening the axe, just unnatural. Well, and this looks actually like a cutscene to me. I suspect very much that this is a cutscene. I would be very much surprised if we actually saw NPCs interacting with items. We haven't had that before in the Elder Scrolls. If you remember, there was nothing like that in Morrowind, nothing like that in Oblivion. Somebody took an item and carried it. Yeah. We had only things like somebody pulling the lever. He went to the lever, made a gesture, and the lever moved. But it wasn't interaction like lifting a stone, or lifting a log and carrying it. Or there were in the armory shops, you saw tables laid out with nice armors and weapons. You didn't see anything, any of the customers or the shop clerks taking it into it. Look at this armor, and showing it to you in his hands. Look how nice it look, the engravings here, or taking a weapon and showing it to you, holding it in his hands. It would be so natural, so nice, you know. The NPC interacting with items, holding them, showing them to you, or carrying them from one place to another. You know, and special weapons for our special hero. Come with me to the bag. I have it in this chest. Interacting with items, we haven't had that, and if we have something like that in Skyrim, like this guy interacting, moving the log from one place to another, that would be great. But I suspect this is just a pre-rendered cutscene, and the NPC is not actually holding the log in the game. You know what I mean? Missing something like that. I wonder, that actually no game, or you guys who know some first-person shooters, is there something like an interaction of NPCs with items? Not like, I mean, not that NPCs can equip items. It has an item next to it. It makes a gesture, and somehow the item vanishes because it gets transferred to the inventory of the NPC, and then it appears suddenly in his hand because he has equipped it. That's also interaction, but it's not the physical interaction with the object as I have described. You know what I mean? Have you seen ever anything like that in a game? I haven't, and I think it's about time that we get this. Okay, again, great amount of detail at the in the horse's saddle, his hair, just great. Shaking the head just like horses do. Although I think horses do, the frequencies they do it is a bit slightly faster, not that fast as a cat or dog does, but nevertheless I think it's a bit faster. But great, yeah. He behaves like a horse, or she. Could also be some more vertical movements in his neck and head. Horses usually don't stay like this with their heads up. They look where they can get grass and grass themselves. First time I saw this, I find it a bit funny. I say to a random bucket, well, the horse gallop looks very jumpy, doesn't it? And it looks unnatural, but this is a point where I was mistaken. I have watched videos. This is a draft horse or a draw horse. This is a complete another horse race than the racing horses. This horse race is supposed to be very sturdy. It's a working horse, which is supposed to pull logs of wood out of the forest, and very slow but very powerful, very very much indefatigable horse. It is very it can have great power over longer time. The racing horse is very fast but cannot run long. This horse is for long hard work. So and these races of horse, when they gallop, it really looks like this. The rhythm is exactly like this. So I think this is pretty much precise animation of such a horse running, galloping. I think they made a good job. And also here the transition from the horse galloping to this draft or what this kind of, it's not exactly walk here, but it's the in between. I don't know, trot is it? As maybe is just fine. The transition here is just fine. Not unlike we saw it in the Wolf. Yeah, now comes the scene with the dragon. Dragons are fine. Their animation, they are reasonably well animated. I wish, although, yeah, it's somehow we expect dragons to fly. I guess when I would be the artist to animate dragons, I would study the flight of bats. They have also such wings, and I would very closely observe how bats move their wings, especially the larger bat species. How do they move their wings? How they fold them when they land? How do they unfold them when they are about to start? And I would very much copy that and try to animate the dragon like that. I'm not sure the people did that, but there is nothing really wrong or that unnatural looking at this dragon flight here. They are pretty well done. I think I noticed about the bow and arrow here that here it makes perfect sense to have an arrow with this bushy feathers here, like this. These kinds of arrows is used in the archery when you aim for birds or flying objects, because when aiming at a flying object, you are very likely to miss. And arrows are precious and you want to recover your arrows, but when you miss, pointing your arrow up and shooting it, the normal arrow would fly very, very far, and who knows where it would land. These bushy feathers here at the arrows cause that the arrow slows down very fast and doesn't fly that high up. And if it flies, the ballistics of the arrows is not like the normal arrow, like flying here and then going smoothly, like like somewhat like a parabolic trace with a little ballistic skew. The arrow flies high up, and here it slows down and falls almost orthogonally down. That's the purpose of exactly these bushy feathers on these arrows, so that the arrow doesn't fly too far away from you. In case you miss, you will be able to recover it very easily. But I don't think they knew it when they designed these arrows. I expect again various various kinds of arrows, and they will have other feathers, and they will all behave the same trace, the same ballistics and properties. What I did notice, and I do mind, is the fact that when the archer releases the arrow is faster than the bow accelerates it. Look here, this is the moment. I mean, I'm missing a frame here, I think, but the I don't know how this thread is called on the bow in English. Sinew or thread, but you know what I mean. This is actually what accelerates the arrow, and only when it reaches its idle position, the arrow it oscillates a bit, but the arrow flies further. And here we have arrow starting and shooting even before the thread pushed it, accelerated it. It's just plainly wrong. It shouldn't be here. And the arrow hit. Notice where the arrow is supposed to hit the dragon, where the blood splatter is coming out. That's something silly. I don't like the melee fight here. Blood splatters. Okay, the caves look nice. I have enough of melee fight. I want spells to see the spells. This is a nice spell. It looks like acts like a landmine, doesn't it? You make a sign and no enemy shall pass it, or if he tries, then he gets hurt, like these rats jumping at it, and bang, they are dead. I wish, however, the rats here would be they are moving kind of like the South Park things, you know, just jumping and not moving their bodies, but moving their position. The rat here, especially the second one, doesn't move its legs, just moves by itself. Well, they deserved better. Here we have a cobweb, very difficult to make it as a texture. What they done here obviously is just like a blanket with textured with a cobweb texture, which is transparent spaces. I wonder why he decides to cut it with his sword and not melt the web with the heat of his fire spell in his other hand. Have you ever tried to burn a cobweb? Try it sometime. Light up a match and come close to a web. You will see that it vanishes way before you reach it with the flame. The bare heat of the flame makes it melt and vanish. Easy as that. Okay, we have this. What I don't like about this stabbing scene is that we don't see the dagger penetrating his body, and we don't see the gore there. Just focus on the hand. Nice glove. But why not his back? Also, when he pulls it out, we don't see no cut, no wound, no anything. Is it censorship because children below 16 years of age are supposed to play this game so that they don't see too much gore? I guess. Well, they could make a 18 plus or 21 plus version of this game with more gore and maybe some erotics as well on the female bodies. I mean, that's always a popular mod, isn't it, for Oblivion? See your female character naked. Okay, this is a nice fight. I love the spell effects in general, these lightning effects. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. The fire here, I wanted to comment on the fire. Fire on in these spells. It looked to me that the fire is much less material, of a material nature than Oblivion. Or when I supposed to I kind of expected to see something like a fireball between your hand when you cast a spell, a fireball between your hand and moving towards the enemy, and having even somewhat a mass that it gets the enemies knocked back by the impact of the fireball or a fire beam or something. More material flow between the caster and the target. Nothing like that happens here. If you look carefully at this, he just makes the spell, and the body's, it's like a heat is induced in his body and he ignites. It's completely different concept of fire spell, like a heat induction, heat that high that he goes up in flames, but no material transfer between the spellcaster and the target. Also, the flames here are somewhat thin for a fire spell, as I would expected it, but it's okay. Flames are something which is you can do very hard. It's hard work to make flames look pretty in a 3D engine. Generating flames is way too much computation capacity, and having them as textures doesn't look good in general, but I think they did a good job here. So I'm very much looking forward to spells. This kind of time alternating spells, like making you fast, or here we will see making you slow, is just great. I like the idea of this slow time, slow motion. It's great effect, of course. Bit pity that we have this a monotone coloring in grey-blue tones and not the true colors, while we can observe the bodies flying through the air. Okay, you want to make it clear that you are affected by the spell somehow. I can even imagine some high-level creatures moving inherently that fast, like they have a haste spell on them, or generally are extremely quick, so that a normal warrior or any human would be capable of reacting to their speed of attack. So the only way to, or the only convenient way how to fight them is to slow yourself down, slow the perception of time, and be able to see them move, not slowly as that, but slower than they would appear in real time. And doesn't this water here, doesn't it flow kind of upwards? I think it almost looks like it, doesn't it? I'm not sure but I like it. Also, flowing water. This is great. This is pretty good looking flowing water. It's extremely hard to make it look nice, and great job done here. Yeah, that was a fireball, wasn't it? That was a real great spell. It's also another. The hand is really flaming here. It's a powerful thing. This is material transfer. So maybe there's a greater variety of fire spells, and maybe there's something like heat induction, this immaterial, and this is a proper fireball I want to see. Also, I would love to see a fire beam. So ball, beam spells differentiate that. Oh, that was a nice hit, wasn't it? With your axe in his head. No, almost. But it looks like he got down before you even hit him with his axe, with your axe. But definitely, that kind of interaction, why doesn't it affect your character? When the enemies attack you, you should be as well knocked down by such a blow. Now you stand fast like a wall. Nice touch with these bats or whatever these creatures were. What do we see? The dragon runes, or not the runes, but it's cuneiform script. Obviously inspired by the Persian cuneiform script. I'm a great fan of languages and scripts, and I am disappointed that they made it an alphabet, which is somewhat boring. They could have made it syllabic script, at least, or better yet, invent a real language with complex grammar for the dragon language. Maybe they did it, but my impression from what I saw until now from the dragon language is that it's fairly simple. It's not really. I don't think it is really worked out artificial language. I think a game like Morrowind deserves artificial languages, just like Star Trek and Avatar. They should hire a linguist to create for them an artificial language. It's not so many linguists would be happy to do it. Artificial languages are fun. If you have ever tried to create one, you can really play with it. Let's see. who of us, or whether somebody, if maybe fans of this language and script already deciphered what's written on this wall. If you know somebody who has transcribed these signs and translated them, give me the link, point me to his work. If not, then I suggest we try to do it. We try to transcribe and translate these words. We have a little bit of words already in the Wikipedia, in the UESP wiki. We know the alphabet, or can make it out from the game introduction that this poem is there translated and transcribed. I think we can work with that and try to transcribe and decipher as much as possible from this inscription here. So let's do it. Okay, another fight. Frost Atronach. Great. What I particularly love here is the Clairevoyance spell. That's such an ingenious idea. It's a great way of showing a mage where to go, rather than an arrow in a compass. Clairvoyance. Look, this is your way. This is the way you want to go. Great idea. I love this. I love this. Finally, a nice solution. Here we have again some natural wildlife. Unless you attack them, they don't do nothing. You see such a great mass, such a great impact, such a great blow from this mammoth. And what does it do to you? Nothing. Nothing. Except for a few blood splatters. Where do they come from? I'm not sure. Yeah. Also, when fighting this troll, look at his hammer, look at his power, look at his might when he strikes you with this blow. It's such a blow, it's supposed to rip off your hand, no matter whether you are holding the shield or not. This is just a devastating blow. What does it to you? Few blood splatters in your view. That's ridiculous. I mean, please, some physics. Yeah, dragons. I'm glad that they are not scripted, that they are randomly generated or randomly driven. I wonder, though, what purpose has it that the dragon, or for the dragon? Just imagine the world from the dragon's view. Dragon is a predator. He hunts for adventurers, people, sheep, whatever, flesh and meat to grab in his claws and carry it over to his nest, or the dragon's den, or what's called the dragon's cave, or where the dragons live. Or lay their eggs and feed their little dragons, and they usually carry the prey to that place and eat it there, like the vultures do in real world. So if the troll is considered prey, then it shouldn't drop it like this, because anytime vultures normally don't drop their prey unless it's really a mistake or it's impossible to carry. Because if the prey falls down, there is a danger that it will recover from the fall and run away, and your prey is gone. Hunt all the way from the beginning. So I just don't understand this behavior of the dragon, but maybe we will get an answer in the game from this to this. I like the fact that there is more dragons around, fire dragons, frost dragons, and probably others as well. You wonder why you have to kill the dragons, not live in harmony with them, especially if you are the dragonborn somehow. I thought there would be a mental bond between you and dragons, and that you would be able to tame them and ride them, and not just kill them. But okay, we'll see what this is going to be. I'm sure there is more to it, and they don't show everything there is about dragons in this game. Much more things to discover, as Todd Howard said. In general, the game looks fine. I'm very much looking forward to it. And yes, a bit more physics, a bit more sophisticated graphic engine would be better, but nevertheless, I think it will be a good game. Somewhat mediocre for the time where it's going to be published, but from the technologies used, the level design, the scenery design is outstanding. It's fabulous, but with more progress, where is DirectX 11 tessellation and stuff like that? Physics modeling. We have graphics card capable of computing complex physics. Why not here? So that's somewhat old. Should be more modern, but Skyrim is good so far. Looking forward to play it finally. So thanks for watching.